Have you ever imagined spending most of your life in the sky? Not flying for a few minutes, not for a few hours, not even for a single day, but for days, weeks, or even months without truly landing. No bed, no permanent shelter, no place to rest your feet. Only the sky, the clouds, the wind, and a pair of wings carrying you across the world. For humans, such an idea sounds almost impossible. Our bodies need rest. We need shelter. We need solid ground beneath us. Yet, somewhere above our heads, there are animals that have turned the sky into their home. Creatures capable of crossing entire oceans, crossing continents, traveling thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of kilometers. And some of them can do it without stopping for astonishing lengths of time. They eat while flying. They navigate while flying. They avoid danger while flying. Some even sleep while flying. Their lives unfold in a world that most humans only ever see from below. Today, we are exploring one of the most extraordinary abilities ever produced by evolution. The ability to remain airborne for incredibly long periods of time. The ability that transformed the sky into a permanent habitat. And the ability that makes certain birds the greatest endurance athletes on Earth. Before we meet these remarkable masters of flight, we first need to understand something important. Flying is expensive, extremely expensive. Not in money, but in energy. When a human walks, the ground supports the body. When a fish swims, water helps support its weight. But a flying animal must constantly fight gravity. Every second, every minute, every hour. Its wings must generate lift. Its muscles must remain active. Its heart must pump continuously. Its lungs must supply enormous amounts of oxygen. Because of this, most flying animals must rest frequently. They land, they perch, or they stop moving to conserve energy. Yet a select group of species discovered a different solution. Over millions of years, evolution transformed them into some of the most efficient travelers on the planet. And their journey begins with a bird that many people see almost every day. The swift. At first glance, swifts do not seem extraordinary. They are small, fast, dark-colored birds that dart across the sky. Most people hardly notice them. Yet scientists have discovered something astonishing about these aerial specialists. Some species of swifts spend nearly their entire lives in the air. They catch insects while flying, they drink while flying, they gather nesting materials while flying, and evidence suggests that they can even sleep while flying. Imagine that, sleeping while remaining airborne. For humans, it sounds impossible, but for swifts, it is simply part of life. Their bodies are perfectly designed for efficiency. Long, narrow wings, lightweight skeletons, powerful flight muscles, and an incredible ability to exploit air currents. Rather than constantly flapping, they often glide, allowing the atmosphere itself to do much of the work. The result is one of nature's most efficient flying machines. But remarkable as swifts are, they are not the ultimate champions of long-distance flight. To find those champions, we must travel far from land, out over the vast oceans, a place where the horizon seems endless, a place where waves stretch in every direction. And above those waves flies one of the greatest travelers in the natural world, the albatross. The albatross has become a symbol of the open sea, and for good reason. Some species possess wingspans exceeding 3 meters, wider than many humans are tall. These enormous wings allow them to perform a flight technique known as dynamic soaring. Instead of relying entirely on muscle power, They harvest energy directly from the wind. They climb, they descend, they glide, they turn, using differences in wind speed above the ocean surface. Again and again, hour after hour, day after day. This technique is so efficient that an albatross can travel enormous distances while barely flapping its wings. Some individuals cover thousands of kilometers during a single journey. Others circle vast sections of the Southern Ocean. They follow storms, follow winds, follow food sources, and spend months moving across one of the most remote regions on Earth. For humans, crossing an ocean requires ships or airplanes. For an albatross, it is simply another day. Yet, even these magnificent birds do not hold the record for the longest nonstop migration. For that title, we must look at a bird that appears surprisingly ordinary: the bar-tailed godwit. At first glance, it does not look like a champion. It is not especially large. It is not especially powerful. It does not possess giant wings. It lacks the dramatic appearance of eagles and falcons. But hidden inside this bird is one of the greatest feats of endurance ever recorded. Every year, bar-tailed godwits undertake a migration that seems almost unbelievable. They travel from Alaska to New Zealand, across the Pacific Ocean, without stopping, without landing, without taking a break. The journey can exceed 11,000 kilometers, and some individuals have traveled even farther. Think about that for a moment. Imagine boarding an aircraft and crossing a large portion of the planet. Now imagine making that same journey using nothing but your own muscles. No engine, no fuel tank, no technology, only your body, your wings, and the energy stored within you. Before migration begins, these birds undergo a remarkable transformation. They eat continuously. They accumulate large fat reserves. Their bodies become packed with energy. In a sense, they turn themselves into living fuel tanks. Because once they leave, there will be no opportunities to stop. No islands. No resting points. Only ocean. Endless ocean. Then the journey begins. The birds take off. And they keep flying. Day and night. Through changing weather. Through strong winds. Across thousands of kilometers of open water. For more than a week. Sometimes longer. Without a single landing. It is one of the most extraordinary endurance performances ever observed in nature. Yet another bird may be even more astonishing in a different way: the magnificent frigate bird. These elegant seabirds inhabit tropical oceans. Their wings are long, their bodies are lightweight, and they are masters of atmospheric flight. Scientists studying frigate birds made a discovery that stunned the scientific community. These birds can remain airborne for months. Not days, not weeks, months. They achieve this by exploiting rising columns of warm air. They spiral upward, gain altitude, then glide long distances before finding another thermal current. This allows them to travel vast distances while using surprisingly little energy. Even more remarkable, researchers believe that frigate birds can take brief naps while still flying. Tiny periods of sleep, only seconds at a time. Then they awaken, continue flying, and repeat the cycle, again and again. For humans, this sounds like science fiction. For frigate birds, it is survival. The longer they remain airborne, the larger the area they can search for food, the more efficiently they can travel, and the less vulnerable they become to dangers on land. As scientists study these incredible animals, a fascinating pattern emerges. Long-duration flight is not just about wings. It is about an entire biological system working in perfect harmony. highly efficient hearts, exceptional lungs, optimized metabolism, lightweight skeletons, powerful muscles, extraordinary navigation abilities. Every feature contributes. Every gram matters. Every movement is refined. Because in the sky, efficiency means survival. A bird that wastes energy may never complete its journey. A bird that masters efficiency can cross oceans, cross continents, and spend much of its life in the air. Perhaps that is what makes these creatures so inspiring. They remind us that power is not always about strength, not always about size, not always about speed. Sometimes true power is endurance, the ability to keep moving when others must stop, the ability to continue when the journey seems endless. Imagine a bar-tailed Godwit at this very moment, somewhere above the Pacific Ocean. No land ahead, no land behind, only sky and water. Yet it continues flying, hour after hour, day after day, guided by instincts refined over countless generations. Or an albatross gliding effortlessly above the Southern Ocean, riding winds that have circled the Earth for centuries. Or a frigate bird soaring high above tropical seas, using the atmosphere itself as a source of energy. Each of them demonstrates something extraordinary. The Earth is still filled with abilities that seem impossible. Abilities not created by technology, not created by machines, but created by evolution, by millions of years of experimentation, by countless generations adapting to their environment. And among all of nature's wonders, the ability to fly for incredible lengths of time without stopping may be one of the most impressive. Because for these animals, the sky is not a destination. It is not a barrier. It is not even a pathway. The sky is home. And as long as the wind continues to blow, their journey will continue as well.